come back. They were all in here, and I talked for 30 minutes. I said, I'm getting tired of talking. I don't have nothing to talk about. I'm getting off here. And Pizza and everybody was in here, and Sharon, and now there's nobody. It's just you and me. So anyway, do you want to tell them what your full name is?
My name is Dean Wood. SID number is 22-305-350. Born and raised in Sacramento, California. Came up to Oregon and ended up catching 25 years and stuck in the system now.
And, oh, yeah, Jen's in there. Hey, Jen, Dane finally called me, so I went back live. You want to ask him anything? See, I can see a chat, Dean. They can hear you on my landline. They can see me, and I'm reading the chat. She goes, hey, Terry and Dean. Where'd all the there's Cole. Hey, Cole, Dean's on the phone now. If you want to ask him anything, ask him.
Yeah, you can ask me anything. I'm always open.
And Sharon said about damn time.
I know, and we missed the time zone differences up. I didn't even think about that, like that it would be at 6 o'clock here. Like they never let us out until almost 7 o'clock here. And we never get out earlier than like 6:30.
Well, Jen wants to know what's your favorite food to make with commissary.
With commissary, it'd have to be, it's called wet burritos, basically, and you take a pitcher, and you take two big tortillas. They sell the tortillas for $4, $4 a pack here, and they're like, I think like 12-inch tortillas or so. And you stick them inside the pitcher, and you put a bunch of cheese and like cream cheese and hot sauce all on there. And then you take a bowl and you mix the instant rice, the instant beans, sausage, and then a bag of hot Cheetos and pork rinds. You mix them all up in the bowl. And then you dump them inside of the pitcher, and it all sticks to like the cheese and everything. And then you pour your hot water in. Once you pour your hot water in, it starts to cook it. But then what you do is you take the top of the burrito and you fold it downwards. And then you just wrap it in plastic so it sits there and cooks. And then the whole inside of the burrito cooks, and then the tortilla gets wet itself from the water. And then you'll pull it out and stick it in a bowl. And then on top of that, you pour rice, beans, more rice and beans, and like cheese and hot sauce and stuff all on top of it. So that's probably my favorite thing to make in here.
Jen says, dang, that sounds good.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, it is good too. It's like, that's like, you make those because they're kind of expensive to make, but we make those like at least like once every other week or every week if we can.
Okay, so how long you got to do? How many years?
5 years to do it. They give me 300 months. I got 6 years in right now this July, and I got 18 years left to go. But if I'm good and I stay out of trouble and all that stuff, I get what Oregon calls a second look, and after doing my first 10 years, I get the chance of getting out on parole for the next 10 or 15 years if I'm good. Normally, they don't grant it to us. It normally takes two. Normally, the first hearing, everybody gets denied. So if I get denied on the first hearing, I have to do 15 years before I can go to another hearing. So I'll have, from right now, I'll have 9 years left until my next hearing, basically.
Tammy just came back in. You can start asking Dean stuff. I see there's 19 people there and nobody's saying anything. I don't. Do you just want to talk about what you want to talk about your life and your crime, or what prison life is like, or... Oh, Jen said, what do you miss the most about the outside world other than family?
I mean, family, woman, but other than that, just the freedom of being able to get up and go and shower and do whatever you want on your own time. People don't realize, like, everybody that thinks to be in prison, they're like, oh, I would miss this or I would miss that. But actually, it's the little small things that we miss, being able to get up and go to the fridge and get Kool-Aid or a soda, or getting up and being able to walk outside and stuff like that. Everything in prison is micromanaged, almost all the way to the point to where you can get up and go to your cell once they give us day room and stuff. We're always told what to do, where to go, when to move. So being out there, it has to be the freedom of being able to do whatever you want, when you want. That's one thing we miss the most.
I know you probably don't want to talk about it. If you don't, just say so. But I know something you did in there with some women employees of the jail.
How you know that?
Because I know stuff.
Toby's been talking.
Toby's been talking. In fact, you told me a little bit about it. You said they got jealous of each other.
Yeah, so I was working the kitchen in Two Rivers Correctional Institution, and two women. One was my coordinator in the morning. The other one was the coordinator that worked in the afternoon. The first one in the morning started passing me notes and all that stuff like that. And before you know it, I ended up in a relationship with her. And then sidestepped, we got in a big old argument, and she got weird about stuff and controlling, so I kind of stepped out of it. And then the one that came and worked at 2 o'clock, basically, me and her ended up started messing around. And before I knew it, the other one we started messing around too. So it was like a little love triangle. And then one got mad at the other one, so one snitched on the other one, and then that one snitched on the other one, and then I ended up in the hole, and they both ended up fucking getting fired, basically.
They got women get jealous. You know that, Dean. You gotta know that.
Yeah.
Women are jealous.
Yeah, and that was the thing, is like I thought it was because it was like understood that, you know, this is what it is, and, you know, we're just doing this for fun and pleasing each other and stuff like that, but it's hard to do that and not catch feelings, and they started catching feelings, and then just everything went south, and in the end, I ended up losing everything, going to the hole and getting kicked out of the prison, basically.
Okay, Jen says, he's got tattoos, Jen. After we get done with this interview, I'm going to put another thumbnail up. The one that was on the other show, he's got tattoos all over.
Yeah, I got tattoos from the face all the way down to the feet, basically. Whole chest, arms, legs, back, side, stomach, everything's tattooed.
Hey, we got a woman on YouTube. I don't know if any of these people in this room know her, but her name is Toddy One Skip. And she was a head of a kitchen at a prison in Virginia. Mm-hmm. And she's a lesbian, so she got her a girl prison, a little young girl, like 22 years old.
Yeah.
And she lost her job. But they got married later, but they're not married now.
And that's the thing, too, is like a lot of people don't understand, like, when you put two people into a situation where they're talking every day and they're interacting with each other every day, all it takes is one person, her or him to be lonely and be working here, and before you know it, it develops into a friendship and develops to a relationship, and then because when they start working here, they tell them, like, hey, look, man, don't do this, don't do that. They're going to be manipulated. They basically train them to look at us like we're pieces of shit and manipulated. But there's no difference from me or the next person other than I got caught and the other person didn't, and I'm in prison, the other person ain't. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's really easy. Yeah, it's really easy to start a relationship in here with a CO or a staff member or anything like that before. So, and everybody always looks down on the person like, oh, I can't believe they blew their job, this and that. But that person's only human, and they're only reacting to the emotions that they connected with.
What about the prisoners? Is this true? The more they weigh, the more they pay? Guess who I heard that from?
Yeah, I don't think that's...
I think it might be true. I think there's some truth.
You mean, okay, so what do you mean? You mean like, as in like, the more the girl weighs, the more she'll pay?
Yeah, because they're desperate. More or less, the big girls are desperate, so you prisoners will prey on them because you don't have to be seen with them or nothing or touch them. All you have to do is talk nice and get the money, right?
Well, it is a known fact that, like, I have been, even with the first seal the first coordinator that I was with, she even admitted to me and told me, she was like, well, on the streets, you wouldn't, like, give me the time of day. And I was just honest with her and told her, I was like, yeah, you're not the type of woman I'd go after, but since we're in here, why don't you take advantage of it and have fun now? And it developed into a relationship. But, I mean, it doesn't matter. It's like, if the woman's going to give you money, she's going to give you money. Doesn't matter how much she weighs. But it is a known fact that, like, uglier or older or, like, fatter women, they will give you money and stuff like that. But, I mean, I got friends in here that got young, hot, pretty girls, and all they ain't doing nothing for them. Ain't sending them money, ain't sending them books, and they're just out there slutting around. So it all depends on, I guess, the character of the person they're with.
And Jen says, I don't know what this Randy Quaid guy's asking. She did 20 years with Phil. I don't know what that even means. Jen says, which charge is worse, theft or assault? Well, he ain't got either one of them charges, Jen. But
theft or assault?
Yeah, assault would be worse, I'd imagine.
I mean, assault would be, you'd probably get more time for assault. But as in, like, I don't know if she means, like, political policy-wise, as in, like, politics in prison. I mean, neither one of those are looked down upon, besides, like, if you're a thief and you're stealing shit from the homeboys in prison, then you get fucked up for that. But, like, assault in here praised upon, like, when you beat people up, you kind of get respect for it, so.
Oh, this one person, I don't know who they are, said, hello, daily reminder, keep on smiling. Well, it's going too fast. The chat's going too fast. So I can't read it. Does your family still keep in touch with you? Tammy asked you that.
So most of my family, unfortunately, split across the country, live in Louisiana and stuff like that, they don't make it a habit to reach out to me, but I try to make a habit at least once to twice a month to reach out to them. My mom, she's older now, so I stay in contact with her because she's older and, you know, getting sick and stuff, but my family doesn't stay in too much contact. Most of them are still into the life of drugs and gangs and stuff like that, so not really. A lot of them don't, but some of them they do. My cousins, my mom, and one of my brothers, we do stay in contact.
What about telling the difference between the California prison and the Oregon?
So California prisons, we consider what we do down there is household policies and guidelines. HHPGs basically is when you get into prison, they give you your household policy guidelines. There's a light race to follow and oblige by. You can't associate with other races in a disrespectful manner or a business manner. You can't eat after other races and stuff like that, and we separate ours down there. So what that I mean by that is, if you come into prison and you got any type of indecent exposures, lewd and lascivious acts, rapes, and stuff like that, weird charges basically. The administration won't even put you on the main line with the regular general population because they just stab them and get rid of them. Here in Oregon, it's more relaxed. Those dudes, they get put in certain units, but when those units are full, they integrate them into these other units, and basically the dudes in here just make them stay in their cells and they don't come out and shit like that. They're not allowed to use the phones and shit. And the politics here are real watered down. They're not tough. If you fuck up and do something stupid, probably the worst thing you got coming is you'll get beat up by two homeboys. You won't get stabbed or killed or anything like that. That's the big difference between California and here.
This one guy, I don't know who this is either, Soulsy Boy says hi. Jen wants to know if you furthered your education since you've been in there.
Yeah, so since I've been down in the last 6 years when I was in Two Rivers, I started taking college courses. And my college courses that I got, I ended up finishing getting my entrepreneurship degree in business, basically, and I passed that. I got an AA in that, and I got a degree in Business 101. And then I got my certification in OCE laundry, healthcare facility and maintenance, basically. So I'm authorized to, like, work on the doors here, wash laundry, use the disinfectant and the chemicals and stuff like that. It's pretty much what I've done in the last 6 years.
They're all saying, that's awesome. That's great, Dean. They're all...
Yeah, one thing I feel is big, too, is like everybody always tries to wait until their last year or two in prison before they start bettering themselves and preparing from the streets. For me, even though I got so much time left, I want to be able to learn as much as I can, prepare as much as I can. That way, when I do get out, I got one foot already in front of the other, and I got a head start, and I'm not trying to catch up to everybody else in the world, you know?
Jen said, do they offer jobs in prison, and how much do they pay?
So in Oregon, you get paid for everything. That's what's good. So here in this prison right now, currently, I got basically an orderly job. I make around $50 to $55 a month just cleaning the unit. But once I get enough clear conduct, because I just got out of IMU in January, intensive management unit, I got to wait a year before I can get a job in the call center here. But they have the call center. They have this stuff called BTCU, and each one of those pay around $300 a month. The call center is basically I'm a telemarketer. I go and sit down and I get a list of phone numbers to call, and I basically try to sell a bunch of product online.
So, like, what was some of the products?
Yeah. Some of the products are just basically like memberships to like different companies and stuff. So different companies pay this prison to pay the inmates to actually make all the phone calls, like telemarketers and stuff. And then the BTCU program here that they have is basically heavy machine operator training facility program. So it's like they take you into a class and you use a simulator and you get to learn how to operate like a forklift. You get to operate like cranes and stuff like that. So when you get out, you got heavy machine operator experience and stuff. It's kind of cool.
Well, that's good. Doing it. They don't pay you nothing in Texas. Period.
Like $0 for
you work and you don't get paid nothing.
No, yeah, almost every single thing here is a paycheck, and then even like...
Hey, Rottweilers, wait a minute, I gotta say hi to Rottweilers. Hey, Rottweilers, you want to ask Dean anything? Go ahead and keep talking. I just talk to these people when I recognize them. They were all in here, and then I shut it off. Now they're coming back.
Yeah, I know how it is. It's a hurry up and wait game, and that's what prison is. It's just hurry up and wait. Hurry up and wait for day room, wait for yard, wait for your release, wait for chow. It's a hurry up and wait game, and everybody's naturally impatient too. So it's just like a fucking stressful day sometimes. But to pass time in here, they give us yards and all that stuff, so which is good because then we can go out to the yard and hit weights and stuff. And then, unlike the other prisons in Oregon, this prison actually has a big ass gymnasium. So on night instead of night yard during the winter, they let us go to the gym. We can hit weights, play handball, play basketball, and stuff like that too.
Well, that sounds good.
Yeah, I mean it is. I mean I'm not gonna lie, the time here is not too bad. I mean, the worst part is just being locked up, being away from family and women and stuff like that. Besides that, it's doing time either here or in California. It's way easier time here for sure.
I looked it up, and the softest jail in the whole United States is Maine.
Yeah, I know, you told me that. It's like fucking cakewalk over there, like zero violence.
I know it. Oregon didn't even make it, but the other one was Idaho. They were all once like Montana, Idaho.
Yeah, one thing Oregon does is it doesn't recognize like gangs. So it's like the difference between like other places in here is like California, the white boys down there is kind of like everybody's just woodpiled, and you got of course all your little racial gangs that are amongst it, but we all ride together and kick it together and we work out together. Up here, every little white boy has a different clique. There's like 15 white boy gangs or some shit like that, and some of them don't get along with each other, and then it's like it's not a lot of unity up here in the prison system, is what I'm saying.
Well, the two worst prisons are Florida and Texas. And I think Texas usually beats Florida for being the worst.
I think for sure. I've read stories and heard a lot about Texas and the whole thing playing over there. They're dropping bodies left and right on the yards over there.
I know one thing, you couldn't be on the phone like you are talking because they got people behind you. Get off that phone hollering the whole time.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, yeah. And here, it's just, we got our own phone, but then it's like we can use other races' phone, and there's like always, every unit has a community phone, and every day it's a different race that gets that phone. That way, every day, one race gets two phones, so everybody can get on it and stuff.
So who's the top race? The whites? Because there's not very many other races in that Oregon thing.
Honestly, it's probably, I have whites and then Southsiders, the Mexicans, and then that secondary from them would have to be Pisces. The shortest race, but the most violent is probably the Northerners up here, because they only go to the Northerners in Oregon only go to like one prison, Two Rivers, and then they've been kind of like kicking off riots over there, trying to open up other prisons, but every time they leave and go to other prisons, the Southsiders just clip them to get them off the main line. But it has to be whites and then Southsiders secondary. They're pretty deep everywhere up here too.
What food do you miss the most in the outside world?
Lasagna. My favorite was lasagna. Growing up, my mom used to make lasagna, and then she would make, because my mom was Native American, so she would make lasagna, and she would make these things with fry bread. We call them Indian tacos, and those are the two main things that I miss the most. You don't get nothing even close to that upstate in Oregon in prison at all.
I heard they had pretty good food there, though.
I mean, I personally don't eat a lot of it, but I mean, it could be worse. I mean, Two Rivers Prison has the best bakery in Oregon. You get 3 desserts a week, plus you always get like extra on Saturdays. They always give us cinnamon rolls, donuts, and stuff like that. But here, Saturdays, they always give us for breakfast, they give us either cinnamon rolls or coffee cake, and then Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, they give us desserts, and it's almost always either cookies, brownies, or cake. That's pretty much it.
Don't you get some kind of specials where they give you pizzas and Kentucky Fried Chicken? And
Yep.
But you have to pay for it, right? Extra?
Yeah, you got to pay for it. It's what is considered, they call them incentive fees. And naturally, they're anywhere between like $10 and $30 or something like that. It just depends what it is. Like just right now, they did a breakfast burger sale for everybody. It was like $12 for it. It comes with bacon, 2 hamburger patties, cheese, French fries, and all that stuff. And it's kind of cool. But besides that, they give us like there's only a list of like I think 5 or 6 restaurants they use, and it's like KFC, Domino's Pizza, some little hole in the wall like Chinese place down the street they make, and then they got this breakfast burrito place that sells us burritos for like $8 a burrito, and it comes with like steak, bacon, carne asada, and stuff like that too. But the thing about those food sales is you got to be good for like 6 months to a year before you can qualify to get it. So it's not like everybody can just buy it. You got to have good, clear conduct to be able to get it and stuff.
What is the craziest thing you have seen in prison?
I mean, So not up here. Up here, it has to be the Northerners didn't want to be in that prison in Two Rivers, and like 6 of them came out, and there was one Southsider in the day room, and they just pulled out batteries and had him in a sock, and they beat the dude down and like beat his face in and stuff. But that's not the craziest. The craziest was 2013. I was down in what they call Kern Valley State Prison in California, KVSP. It's a level 4 180. When you get done with your shoot term, you get kicked out, and they send you down there, and you got to do 3 years on the 180 yard before you can go to a 270. And one skinhead disrespected another skinhead, and we were playing pinochle. I was sitting on the left side of the table. The dude was sitting on the right. The guy was sitting right across from me. He was my partner. And he gets up, literally gets up and goes over to the shower, grabs something, comes back. The dude on the right, he stabs him in the neck, pulls his hair up, and then stabs him in the throat, and literally like ripped his throat open and just pushed him to the ground, and then threw the knife to the side and sat down like nothing happened and tried to keep playing cards. And then the gun tower, seeing what happened, hit the alarm, everybody got down, and like he just literally tore the dude's throat open just over.
Did he die? Did the guy die?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he died for sure. Yeah, right there. Like they laid the unit down for like 2 hours, brung in all the investigators, took all the pictures, took almost half of us to the hold, and brung the body back in, took the body out and stuff. That was probably the most craziest. And then,
what do you wish you could have done differently in your life? Be specific. I'm reading you these questions as they're asking.
Cool. I appreciate it. Be specific. So it would have to be at the age of 18. So I went to juvenile hall at a young age for stealing cars and stuff like that. I've been in trouble most of my life. And then I always told myself when I was 18 I would quit doing the dumb shit and get my life together. But then when I turned 18, I ended up going from juvenile hall straight to the county jail. I did like 6 months. I got out. And then my grandpa gave me every ample opportunity to get a job, to stay out of trouble, to live a clean life. And instead, I went right back to the block, started selling weed, started selling drugs, and getting back into the gang life. And I ended up right back in jail, of course, for possession of a firearm. And my grandpa came and see me, and he told me, he said, look, you're either going to decide this is what you're going to do with your life, in and out of jail, living the negative lifestyle, or you're going to fucking clean up your shit, you're going to get out, and you're going to get a job. And I told him straight to his face as a man was like, 100%, I don't care about being in jail. I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to get back out, and I'm going to keep living the lifestyle I'm living. I made that decision when I was barely 19 years old. And that was a very most specific point in my life where I feel like if I would have made a better decision, I probably wouldn't be in the situation I'm in now, because I ended up basically continuing on the path that I was on and accepted the life that I chose, but also accepted the consequences that came with it.
Dane, Dane, thank you for being so candid about answering questions.
Yeah, for sure. And try to be open and honest, and even like I always tell you, Terry, like I'm an open book. You or anyone can ask me any questions you ever want. I'm never going to sugarcoat it. I'm always going to be honest, and I'm a straight open book about everything.
Well, I think this was a good interview. I'll have you come back sometime.
I appreciate it.
Again.
Thank everybody for
And I want to have time to talk to you, so I'm going to end this, because this is 23 minutes already.
Yeah, I need some time. I need some Terrie time.
Okay. See you guys later. They're all saying thank you for coming, Dane.
Yes, man. Thank y'all for listening, too. I appreciate y'all, and good luck to you guys. Stay safe.